Whoa! What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy, Brainwaves Brian. Today I'm in the forest, of all fucking places. Why am I in the forest? Well, I start a new job tomorrow. I'm going to be a tour guide at a zipline place. And I only took this job because I wanted to practice my passion of speaking. I wanted to practice my passion for teaching. And so I came out here into the forest in order to practice my speech giving, because I'll be giving tours for groups. The company that hired me has some practice speeches on their website of somebody from the past that's done it. And I actually think my skills are better than those people. I'll need to polish them over time. But actually just coming out here and doing this, taking this action is actually going to feed into tomorrow, where I start for my first day. I don't know if I'll be speaking tomorrow, but what I do know is that I got 7 days in a row of some pretty intense training. But on the way into the into the woods, I actually came across two other people, I think, that were doing something similar. I'm like walking through and I'm like hearing this music, and I meditate a lot and I practice self-inquiry and I do yoga. And I'm like, am I becoming enlightened? Am I having a mystical experience? What is this tune I'm hearing? Sounds like flute. I was right. It was two flutes. There was two flute players about 10 minutes back that way practicing playing their flute. And I'm guessing they came out into the forest because this is probably the only place that you can get some peace that you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money in order to use as like a venue. I know there's like places like the library and stuff you can rent a room. But that's why I'm out here. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if I'll have time to ever record while I'm at work, maybe. But if not, I'll definitely make some content around it. We'll see if I want to stay in that role. We'll see if this is like where I need to go. I'm really only taking it as a way to express my passions more. I'm almost certain it's not my final destination. I already have some other things in the works as well. So if you're out there and you're trying to figure out like what your passion is, yes, you do need to take action. We know that. You know that. What's my inspirational, life-shattering, ground-rumbling message? Do this. Get your journal. Get a journal. Buy a journal. You should have a journal. You should have like 10 of them because they're for different reasons, and I'll explain that in future videos. But one of them is going to be a contemplation journal to find your passion. What you're going to do is you're going to answer some questions. One of the questions you're going to answer, you're going to ask yourself the question, you're going to write it at the top of the paper. And then you're going to ask yourself a question like, what did I like about the things that I did in the past? Jobs, gigs, events you went to, list them out. After you've listed them, go inside your head and try to remember what about those specific things you like the most. For example, I did this. One of the things I wrote was my job as a general manager, as a store manager. All right, got distracted. One of the things I wrote was my job as a store manager years ago. What I liked the most about that job was later on in my career there, where I actually had the opportunity to teach classes on sales, on how to get customers to say yes, on how to get customers to rate reviews high. And then I would pick another item on my list. Let's see, like when I was in high school, it's like, what's something I enjoyed about high school? I was one of the top students in my speech class that year. This would have been 2009, 2010. I was a quiet kid, and we had one of our practice speeches for that class was a lip sync where you had to get up in front of 80 kids or whatever and lip sync a song. Very nerve wracking if you fear public speaking. I won. It was a contest. I won that contest. So sometimes the fog and the static and the noise of life can get so intense that we're not paying attention to what we're supposed to be doing. We're not paying attention to like being. We're not paying attention to like our passions. So you need to get reintegrated with that. So that's a question you're going to want to ask yourself. You might ask yourself a question like a general question like, what do I think I'm passionate about? That's a legitimate question. And then you list shit that you think you might be passionate about, that you think are your passions. And you'll get an answer. This is one of the things I liked about Jordan Peterson. I'm not promoting him. I'm not dissing him. You can like him. You can hate him. I look at people and I extrapolate what I want from them. So from Jordan Peterson, one thing I learned that I thought was valuable was the prospect of asking yourself a question, because when you ask the mind a question, you get an answer. Crazy. The power of asking questions. I bet there's a book out there called that. Learn to ask yourself questions. And while you're at it, while you have that journal, that 80-cent journal from Walmart, 70 pages, whatever it is, start asking yourself a question a day and just start answering the question. When you ask yourself rigid questions like, what's my passion? If you feel stuck on something like that, start asking, what do I think my passion is? What do I think I want? What kind of girl do I think I want? What kind of man or woman do I want to be, or do I think I want to be? Start getting creative with the way you ask questions, because your mind will create answers. That's what it does. But before I get off onto a whole philosophical rant, that's it. I'm going to practice my speech a couple more times. I'm feeling good. I'm out here in nature. This is like my zen out here. I need to start coming out here and meditating. I might get rain done, actually. All right, peace.